A01. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I am your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me today is Catfighter, is model, the beautiful, the talented, the very vibrant Miss Angelina Knight. Angelina, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Cannot complain. As I was telling you before we came on air, just got out of work, about to have a kick-ass show with you just to talk about what you got going on. And if anybody has not checked out Angelina's social media, you have a lot going on, Miss Angelina. Just being a hot commodity that you are. A lot of things happening. You got a cat fight coming up with the lovely Miss Kim Chi doing her thing in the session wrestling world and just all over. And now here you are on the scene doing your thing. How are you looking forward to that? We got that coming up next week.
I'm very looking forward to it. I'm just really scared to fly. That's the only thing I'm scared of. I just don't want to fly. I'm really nervous about that. But other than that, I'm really excited to kick Kimchi's ass and do my little fetish stuff.
I gotta say, now you were talking about being nervous to fly. Is it just like flying in general, or with everything that's going on with the pandemic?
I'm terrified of heights and just flying in general. The last time I flew was, I've only flown twice in my life. I was 11 and then I was 21, and they were both like horrific. It was traumatizing. There was turbulence literally the entire time, the 2 hours, and I thought we were all gonna die.
So if I can put a pop culture reference in your head, since we're both 90s babies, I'm going to put this in your head. I want to see if you laugh, and I want to see if you understand the reference. So here we go. And to listeners as well, 99, Foo Fighters, you're Learn to Fly. You're looking to the sky to save you. That's what you're doing.
I prefer to be on the ground. I think. I mean, obviously, like if you're in a plane crash, it's done. I think, but it's still scary just to think about. And it's really high up, and yeah, I'm really claustrophobic too. So it's like a small space.
Oh my goodness gracious. You know what it is too?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this just for a comedic standpoint. So for those again, 90s kids like myself and Miss Angelina Knight, it goes back to Hey Arnold. Remember when the train stops and you have the woman in there is just going big open spaces with her therapist? Just remember big open spaces. I don't That's a very obscure reference, but for those that have seen that episode of Hey Arnold, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm just glad it's only 2 hours and not like 4 or 6 hour flight. So I guess I really can't complain. But
That's
I'm
what
still really nervous.
Oh, that's what I'm saying too. I think it's the shorter the flights, it makes it go a little bit easier than the longer flights. But still, at the end of the day, I mean, I think you got this. Yeah, I think you're gonna overcome the fear, and I think you're just gonna be chill and very relaxed because there's an end game. There's there's a cat fight coming and everything that you got coming fetish wise. I mean, at the end
Oh
game, there's
yeah.
a positivity when you end.
Oh yeah. I'm really excited. That's why I was like, I know it'll be worth it. But in the meantime, until I get off the plane, I'm freaking out.
All I can say is just, well, pray. You know what I'm saying? Faith. Have some
Yeah.
faith.
Oh yeah.
So scared of planes and flying aside, man, this is positivity here with this show because, like I said, you got a lot coming up with Kimchi. Now, I had to ask you this as well because you are doing a lot of great work. We've seen a lot of beautiful imagery of your lovely self all over social media on the Twitter front. I got to ask you, when it comes to catfighting, when it comes to modeling, let's start with the catfighting part here first. What kind of gravitated you towards getting into catfighting?
Um. Well, I was in a couple fights in high school, and then I actually got suspended for an entire week, and that was fun. That was not a fun week for me to explain to my mom like why I have to come home early. Um, but a couple of years later, I ended up meeting a family friend of ours, and we were talking one night, and I think I was just like complaining just about like life stress. I was only, I think 24, I think 23 or 24, and we were just talking. He's like, well, you can take all your anger out and get paid for it, right? And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And then he introduced me, like he sent me the website for Fresh Fight, and I checked it out and like watched a couple videos, and I was like, wow, like this is actually like you actually get paid to fight somebody. And he's like, yeah. He's like, so if you're interested, I can talk to him and we can see if you like it. And 2 months later, I'm doing a freaking live event in front of all these people and wrestling this girl I've never met in my life. And I'm like, I I kind of like this. The only thing I hated about like it's just really embarrassing. The only thing I hated about watching myself fight is because I had a really hard time getting into the mindset of I'm allowed to hurt this bitch. Because like I didn't know her, so I had like no beef with her. I didn't, have a reason to be mean to her. And then after I think I did 2 or 3, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely done with that mindset. I need to do a cat fight, and I need to let all my anger out. And then I finally joined the catfighting world again and had my first cat fight. I think it was yeah, it was February because she blew me off in January. So we finally got to do it in February, and oh my god, it felt so fucking good. It's like I got to slap the shit out of her. I got to strangle, or I'm not strangle. That sounded really bad. I meant like suffocate her, pull her hair. I was like, I love this. I don't know why I was so timid before. And that's basically it. It's just my friend got me into it, and then I just kind of enjoyed it a lot. And now I'm like really loving it. So now I want to do more.
Man, listening to you talk about suffocating over there, you got me thinking. You got me thinking about Papa Roach, suffocate, no breathing. I see where you're going. You're gonna make them your last resort, all right? No, I mean, I totally understand the mindset because it's tough. Because I mean, as people, we could be very nice, but we also have to understand the mindset of in a very competitive nature and the style like that. It's like, all right, we can do this, but we're not gonna kill them. You know what I'm saying? It's a competitive nature, and also what we're doing is we're telling stories with our bodies, with our holds and everything. So we got to entertain and encompass everything that is around these people. So I mean, it does get tough at the beginning to start there, but once you keep progressing and really learning about it, and I got to say, you got the discipline of it. Besides the fact that you want to hurt bitches over there, hurting bitches. Getting stitches. No, but at the same time, I mean, I love the trash talking, and I love, dare I say, the chutzpah, dare I say, the moxie that you got with your overall being, which is great. But I got to say, you still got that discipline about you, which is awesome. Which I also like your humbleness as well, which really goes into it a lot, and what a lot of people want to work with you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And yeah, like I said, it took me, like, my last cat fight. I was like, okay, I'm going to get in this ring. I'm going to beat the fuck out of her, and I'm not going to feel any remorse. And then I did it, and I was like, oh my God, I felt so good. And we were still fine afterwards. I was like, oh, okay, why couldn't I have done this 5 years ago? But I also had, myself, like, to grow. Like, I went through, a lot these past 5 years. So, like, I literally had a lot of pent up rage, and I was like, I don't care who I hurt. I need I need to get in the ring and fuck a bitch up. So I'm really glad I got to do it again, and I'm back into it, even though I had a horrible accident. I mean, I still have kind of like limitations of what I can and can't do, but overall, I'm I'm really glad I was able to get back into it.
What I appreciate you about here telling your story here, and I think a lot of people can resonate and generate with, like you're in an accident, there's a lot of stuff that really that you go through, but I think what's great about it is on the other side of things, you come out even stronger and you come out even better. And I think that's what makes a lot of great fighters and a lot of great people that want to pursue said cat fighting and just in general that want to pursue anything in a combative nature, like that mindset of you just keep going and going and going, and the fact that letting out that aggression, because it could be like you mentioned, like getting in school and getting into a fight. It's like bullying goes a long way with people, really sticks with people. And we just have all this pent up aggression where, I mean, the saying is, turn the other cheek, or just in general, this also equates to life. It's something where you have something, that outlet, if you will. You have that avenue that's beautiful where you just go out there and just kick ass and take names, maybe pull some hair, maybe do what you need to do. But it's something at the end of the day that really makes you happy, and it shows within your work and your overall ambition for what you want to do, Angelina.
Oh yeah, it took me, well, like you said, bullying. Like I was bullied in high school. I've been in, a couple abusive relationships. My marriage. So like it's a lot has taken a toll on me mentally. So after my accident, I just kind of went through. Like I took that entire year to heal and go to therapy, and um, like everything just kind of, it didn't, I wouldn't say like bottled up, but I was just like, okay, like I need to stop feeling sorry for myself. I survived a lot of shit, and now I just need to embrace everything that I've been through. And like I was like, Gary, I need to fucking catfight. I need to get back into doing something that I enjoyed doing, even though I was scared and timid and shy. I was like, I'm still gonna be timid, or not timid. I was like, I'm still a shy, cute little innocent, but I'm not gonna be cute and innocent in the ring. And he's like, well, we'll see what you got, and we'll see what you can do. And I did it, and he was like, wow. He's like, I've never seen that side of you. And I was like, yeah, I fucking told you. He's like, no, I'm serious. Like, I had no idea who you were. I was like, yeah, I fucking told you. I was like, if I did not have a catfight scene, I was going to commit a freaking felony. I was like, I need to get in the damn ring, or I'm gonna go ballistic on somebody.
I
But
gotta, I gotta say what I love about you. I don't mean to cut you off, but god dang,
oh
man.
no, it's okay.
Okay, here's what really goes here. Because as a young man, I'm gonna say this right now. We've all been in dark places. I'll be honest with you. Not too long ago, I was in a mindset where I was just ready to end it. But it's how we get, like I said, it's how we get through, and how we just look at life and look at everything from a perspective support system, and you have people that, not just from a social media standpoint, but you have that close range, the people that just want to see you succeed. And what I love about it too is, like you were talking about fights in high school. I remember my senior year coming out of the cafeteria, here's two girls just coming out of the bathroom fighting at a cat fight, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where you get, and it's very true, it's one of those things that we see it from our high school tenure for what we see in general. Because talking to you before this, I didn't even realize that we we're practically the same age, so we kind of have like the same situations. Because it's one of those things where, whether you're bullied, whether through words or through your actions, it's one of those things where it's like it takes a toll on you, but again, it shows your inner strength. And what I love about you too is, and I've seen it on your social media, on the Twitter front, like your training, there's boxing classes, there's just you getting in there and just really just applying your craft and really adding more to your repertoire. And it truly shows. And that's why I like admire and I love your overall determination and passion for this, Angelina.
Oh, I wasn't expecting. That's really nice of you to say. Thank you so much. I was a freaking nervous wreck when I tried boxing because I've never done boxing in my life. Like I've hit the bag a couple times, but I never actually got into a ring and did a boxing match. So when I watched my video, I was like, oh my God, like there's so many chances I could have swung or blocked. And I'm like, I looked so like a fish out of water. I looked so stupid. I was like, but that's my very first time. Like I can't, like, I think I even wrote on the caption, like, I'm not going to criticize myself because I do that a lot. And I really need to work on that. Like, it's a huge flaw of mine. I always try to be a huge perfectionist. And when I'm not, I automatically think that I failed, because I didn't get it right the first time. So I'm like, no, like I've never fucking boxed in my life. Like I did pretty damn good with a fractured hip and the first time boxing. So, and I could not see worth a shit with a freaking headgear on. Like I don't know how we even did what we did because I couldn't see anything and she couldn't either. And we're both like, we can't fucking see anything.
Well, I'm going to ask you, because you do put it so eloquently and bluntly in your Twitter description, you tiny little hobbit. How now when we're talking about height here, what's your height? I just have to ask this just because.
I'm 5 foot.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. There's some tough 5 foot, and I'm going to say right now, it's the squirrely, it's the overall spunk, if you will. I'm going to use those two words, squirrely and spunky, when it comes to girls like that size. And here's why I can appreciate that. I'm going to tell you something right now. One of my biggest influences in my life is my mother. I love my mother to death. My mother is 4'11". I'm going to tell you something right now. Do I tower over my mother? Yes. Do I want to make my mom angry? No, because that is a very spunky 4'11" woman. And what I appreciate about that too is, I'm going to compare it to wrestling. Like, look at professional wrestling, right? One of the top characters, one of the top draws in the women's division on Monday Night Raw is Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is like 5'1", 5'2". She's a small girl, but with her athleticism and what she's done, like gymnastics wise and cheerleading and overall bodybuilding, like she has really applied her craft and added more to her repertoire and more to her achievements. Look at you, for example. You're doing boxing, you're doing catfighting, and we'll get to modeling here in a second, but it just adds to your repertoire. And I mean, we see here the saying, jack of all trades, right? Looking for the women's side of things, Jill of all trades. You're out there expanding your repertoire, and that's wonderful, and that's a great mindset to have, to reiterate that point. But that is what makes life worth having, and that's what makes you, again, the determination, and dare I add the word grit to you, Miss Angelina Knight.
Yeah, usually when I want something, I kind of just go for it. I get really, really nervous and scared, but I still do it.
And what I
So,
love, what I love about you too is also, because a lot of people can relate to this, and I'll be honest with you, I am one myself, and here's where again we vibe on this. We go into something, we try for the first time, we fail, you just want to give up, but that's just the overall passion of what we want to do, to apply the craft and the overall determination, and just the overall passion of wanting to get it right, done, one and done, if you will. You know what I'm saying? But I think
yeah.
what's great about it too is you get back up, and what I love about you too is when it comes to cat fighting and when it comes to what you do as a whole, and what really kind of gravitated and wanted me to have you on the show. Like everything that you're doing, I love the trash talking. I love everything that you're doing, going into the stuff with Kim Chi. Because I'm gonna say this right now to reiterate: Kim Chi is a beautiful woman. She is someone who is very tough. She's got the boxing down pat. But I gotta say, someone who is not to take lightly. And I'm gonna say you're not one to take lightly, because again, spunkiness. It's the spunk. It's the spunk. Actually, it's the spunk.
I've kind of, I mean, I haven't tried to be like that my whole life, but I've been told I'm a, what do you call them?
You're a Spitfire. You know what I'm saying? You're Hellraiser.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That's it. I was like, what's that word? Yeah. Ever since I was about like 5 or 6, I've been a whole. I mean, I've always been a little princess, but I've also been a fucking huge tomboy. Like I will kick your ass in a dress and a bow. Like don't fuck with me.
Well, I like that attitude too because I mean, what's very marketable about what you're saying, like you're the tiny little princess, right? Because I look at it from a stance too. Like I was telling you, I believe in beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are, which is very true. But you also look at it from a stance too, is like, yo, we got the beauty part, we got the strength part, we got the dominance part, but we also have someone who is like you said, like you're a princess. All women are queens, all women are princesses, and should be treated as such. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, you got that attitude about you. To quote Don Johnson in Miami Vice, I've earned this attitude. You've earned your attitude. You're allowed to have that attitude, Miss Angelina Knight.
Yeah, everything that I've been through, yes, I definitely. And I still have, a pretty big heart. I'm still nice to people, but given the fact that if you give me a reason not to be, you should just fucking run.
You know what I picture? I'm going to say this right now. The way that you've worded your verbiage there, if you will. You know what it kind of reminds me of? I'm going to say this. I'm going to put the Jersey Shore out there. When Jersey Shore first came out, okay, I'm going to say, you know where I'm going with this. I love that little laugh that you just did. Think about think about 2009. Jersey Shore's like, don't mess, fucking Snooky. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess with me because and then she's, you know what it is? It's again, it's the spunk because she's short, but she's like, I will get feisty, I will hip smack a bitch, and I'm just like, okay, shit is on. This orange woman with the poof is ready to whoop ass. Okay.
Oh my god. Yep, that's me. I just don't have a poof. I just wear bows and pigtails. So
It's still very cute. I'm gonna say it. It fits you. Again, markability here. There's that girl with the pigtails and the bows. It works. It fits you. You look good. Oh, okay. So let's go on and switch gears to the modeling side of things because I'm kind of curious about that too. Is because as a man who loves all women, whether it be plus size, whether it be in general, there's a lot of work in the modeling game. There's a lot of beautiful women doing modeling as well. I'm curious how you kind of got into that realm as well because we mentioned catfighting and the overall physicality, but like I was telling you, you can take a lot of beautiful photos from an imagery standpoint. You look good, Angelina. So I'm kind of curious how the modeling stuff kind of came to fruition. What made you want to gravitate towards modeling?
um well, I got my first camera when I was 10 years old, and I was mostly into I mean, I still am. I'm huge in photography. I love taking pictures of pretty much everything. But my favorite is nature and like back roads and like whenever it's wintertime or fall, like that's my favorite time to take pictures. And one time I had my brother hold the camera and just kind of take my picture, just to see what I'd look like. And not I mean I was only 10, but I was like I look pretty, like and I was the kind of girl who had like big bucky teeth, big ears. Like I didn't wear makeup. I dressed like a princess and then a tomboy the next day. So I didn't really have like my style figured out yet. But I was not the girl who was like popular in school. Like I said, I had huge big teeth, big ears. Like I was really quiet and shy. So when I looked at my pictures, I was like, I think I want to try modeling. And my mom, at the time, like she was a single mom half my life, so she really couldn't afford to get me into modeling. And then when I was 13 or 14, I told her I wanted to try boxing. And she was like, yeah, no. She's like, you're way too pretty for that. I can't afford to have your face smashed in. So I was like, oh my God. Like, what can I do, Mom? Because she was very, very protective of me. So I'm like, well, I can't model because she can't afford it, which I understand. And I can't do boxing because she doesn't want my face bashed in. So I'm like, what the fuck can I do? So I just stick with photography. And then we did my senior pictures, and we had I was a modeling. I did like part of a modeling shoot, and then I took my senior pictures. So she asked the photographer to take like portraits of me, and then just my senior pictures. And my first little modeling shoot was me in a yellow dress in the waterfall, and my mom was like mesmerized. She's like, "Oh my gosh, like you're fucking gorgeous! Like what the fuck? Like I had like no makeup on. I was just me in a yellow dress." And I took those pictures and I applied for a modeling agency when I was 20. I got approved. It turned out to be a huge, huge scam. So I found a photography friend of mine who has just been taking my modeling pictures. Like I've never actually been with an agency, But whenever I want my modeling pictures done, I just kind of ask my friend to do them for me. And that's, I mean, she's an actual like licensed photographer. Like she does do modeling shoots and everything, like senior pictures, weddings, and all that. But uh, I guess that's like kind of how I got into it. It's not really a cool story, but that's mainly how I kind of got my foot in the door to do modeling pictures. Is my friend and my senior pictures kind of helped out.
First and foremost, everybody has a story. It's not a boring story at all. I look at it from a stand too. No, please stop it. I also love what I hear because like you're talking about imagery standpoint. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I was a young man after school, you know, when Bob Ross had the joy of painting and how he painted the fuck out of those photos, man. You start off with a blank thing and then 30 minutes later, you got a waterfall, you got a mountain, you got everything. Oh my goodness gracious. But I love that too as well because you're talking about taking photos of nature. That's really just appreciating the outdoors and the overall ambiance and the essence that is life and everything that is encompassed around us and our surroundings. And I really admire that. And also, I look at it from a stance too, like you're getting into modeling from your friend. This is what you want to do from an imagery standpoint. You have that external standpoint, and then you look at yourself from an internal and external standpoint. It's like, hey, I look damn good. Here's me. Here's what I do. And bada bing, bada boom, we have some beautiful photos. And it really encompasses, once again, not through just your images, but your overall being. It exudes and accentuates that, Angelina.
Yeah, my very first modeling shoot was in 2011, and it was actually one of my guy friends. He was just starting out. You know, he got this old factory place for his studio, and I took a couple pictures in a black lacy dress and heels. And um, when he took those, he was like, you know, because he's never seen me like from that standpoint, because I've always, you know, just been a friend. And he was even like, Liz, this doesn't even look like you. He's like, I can't believe like you like a fucking natural at this. He's like, why are you not, you know, actually doing this? And you know, I've always been, you know, when you're bullied, it kind of sticks with you. So I just always would think about, you know, my chicken legs, my chicken arms, my big gums, my big teeth. Like I never could understand why people thought I was pretty or like what the hell they saw. And then the next modeling shoot I did, it was after, um, literally right after my car accident because I got married and met, well, my ex husband now, and when I was 21. So my entire life for the past 7 years was, you know, being married, having kids, you know, kind of doing that sort of life. And then got, when we separated after my car accident, I was like, okay, you know, it wasn't a very good marriage. So I was like, I need to get my confidence back. You know, I just got in a fucking car accident. I was like, I feel like a dump. Like I need to feel pretty again. So I got my hair done and I did 2 modeling shoots in a month. Or no, and it was in the same month, but it was in a week time span. And then I did another one. I did 2 more the next month. So all those pictures I took in 2 months span, I was like, I was just in a fucking car accident. Like how you could never tell like how much pain I was in. And my friend who took my picture, she was like the same thing. She's like, I don't know why you're not fucking doing this. She's like, you're so scared and self conscious. And she's like, and I have no fucking idea why. And I always get told that. I'm like, I know, but I just, you know, it's the bad stuff's always easier to believe for some reason. So when I see my modeling pictures, I'm like, you know, I do look pretty. And then when I don't look like that, you know, and I have like my bad days, my no makeup and bad hair days, I'm like, how the fuck did I just look like that? And I look like a train wreck right now. Like I'm 2 different people.
I can actually, you know what's interesting that you say that? First and foremost, chicken legs, you don't got no chicken legs. You stop that right now. I'm going to say this from a stance. No, I also I look at it from a stance too, where I've been there with you too. And here's the thing too, like when you're a kid, and a lot of people can go with this, like weight fluctuates. You know what I'm saying? Depends on what you put in your body and from a diet standpoint, just in general. But we all have our moments where our weight fluctuates, right? When I was a senior in high school, I'm going to say this right now. It happened, and it even happened in my sophomore year because I remember when we were kids. I got people remember the Lord of the Flies book. You know what I'm saying? And there was a character called Piggy. I have blonde hair. I got glasses for those who've seen the movie. I was a little bit, you know, I was a little bit husky, but I also had a pug nose, if you will. And that son of a bitch died in that movie. But that has nothing to do with this. But I digress. But what I mean by that is like Look at Lord of the Flies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was the epitome of what Piggy was. You know what I'm saying? After he got killed and tossed off the mountain, that poor SOB. But it's one of those things where you look at it from a stance too. Like, this is how we visualize ourselves, and words do hurt. Yes, they do. But it's something that, like, it stands with us, like you said, once we get into adulthood. But then we realize as we get older, when we have that come to Jesus moment, whether we look in the mirror, there's something about that. There, I say, with your support, with your friends talking about, that's positive reassurance right there, and that's a lot that really helps us mind, body, and soul from a spiritual standpoint and an overall mental standpoint. It really helps us grow. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're doing. You're growing, Angelina.
Yeah, another issue I have is it's a huge flaw when I always compare myself to other people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think, all women are beautiful, but I'll compare myself. Like, well, why can't I have, a body like hers? Like, why can't I gain weight and look like that? Or why can't, I have fucking tits, for God's sake? Like, I always compare myself to other women, and I hate it. Like, I don't ever hate on other women. I just hate that I can't look like them. And that's a huge flaw of mine. I've always had it. And because, like, my ex-husband, he treated me really, really bad, and he was always going after bigger women. And, like I said, I don't care about that, but he just never made me feel like I was beautiful enough. Like, he was always, cheating and going after other, like, women, the complete opposite of me. So I'd be sitting there like, well, if you think they're beautiful, like, what the fuck are you with me for? Because you're always going after, like, a certain type. And then he'd be like, no, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful. And then I'm like, what? Like, I don't, I've never really felt beautiful to him, but other people, they'd say the same thing. They're like, you're beautiful, Angelina. Or, I have a preferred type. Like, I don't like petite women, real women. Like, the most common fucking sentence used in America is real women have meat on their bones. I've heard that so many times. And I'll always hear, like, you're really, you need to eat something. Or, oh my gosh, you're so tiny. I'm like, yes, I know this. I see myself every day. You don't have to remind me. So that's another issue I have, is just wishing I was always looking different.
I got to say this about you, and I'm going to say this. And like I said, we've been talking a lot and really resonating and generating. And really, a lot of people can relate to what you're going through. And for me, I think you could tell being a very positive person. Here's how you put the positive spin on this, Miss Angelina. Why would you want to look like someone else when you can just be you? And you is just, beautiful as you are. Like we talk about mind, body, and soul. I'm just saying, just be you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just got to be ourselves. And you being you, look what we have with social media. Look what we just have in general as people. We have to love and respect ourselves. And I got to say this right now, just love yourself because you are lovely. See what I did there? Lovely. But no, it's very true. It's very true. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If he wants to do that, it's dumb. It's fucking dumb. That's not even dumb. That's just shallow. You know what I'm saying? Just shows shallowness right there.
Oh, he's disgusting anyway, so he doesn't even matter anymore. But it was just the whole, like, point of just like, why are you even with me if you're always going after or liking, those type of girls' pictures? And I'm like, what? Because it's hard to, like, feel pretty, especially to your husband, like, when he's constantly looking at other women completely opposite of you. So that was a huge, like, it took me a long time to get over that. But just in general, like, just my own personal flaw is, like, I'll have my days where I feel cute and feel pretty, and then I'll be scrolling Twitter like, oh my gosh, she's fucking gorgeous, or she's sexy as hell. Like, why can't I look like that? Or, again, like, have tits or an ass, or, be taller or something.
Well, I also look at it from a stance too, and here's what I love about your photos. And you know what, for me, like a big thing is, like we were talking about art, like the body is a temple, body is canvas, right? Like for me, I'm a big tattoo guy. I have two pieces on my arm. I got one that's dedicated to my grandfather. I want to get one that's dedicated to my grandmother, and I got a lot of crosses on there. It said sanctify, which means to be blessed. But also, a lot of people can gravitate towards you, and a lot of people like ink on the girls. Like you got a lovely tattoo. You got, like I said, you got a nice little lovely body. You got everything that's encompassed with your external beauty, and the tattoo adds to it because the tattoo adds a little sex appeal. It also adds that edge to it. So the tattoo also helps you as well and encompasses your beauty.
I really want to get more tattoos.
It's addicting though. It's addicting.
Yeah. I only have 3, but I'm like, I really cannot wait to get more. And I have about 4 or 5 pictures on my phone of the tattoos that I want. I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to get these.
I gotta say this about you too, and when I'm gonna ask you about the tattoos, because again, as someone who's like loves art and just everything that's in general with the body, I mean, this is also when you're in a tattoo shop, hello, Ink magazines are right there for God's sake. You can't help but not notice. I'm getting curious. Talk about your tattoos for a second, because I just want to ask you about that because I've seen a lot of your photos as well. Very lovely ink, and you know what I'm saying. I know they have a lot of meaning to you. Can you talk about the tattoos that you have?
Yeah, my first one that I got was the one that is on my side, the huge one, and I love butterflies. Like I'm obsessed with butterflies. So the butterfly is for me and my mammal. She passed when I was 4, and that was her favorite animal. And then the flowers are my mom's favorite flowers. So I kind of have my mammal and my mom to remember by. And um, when I went to schedule this tattoo, I just told the artist, like, I just want a butterfly and a flower. And he's thinking like something dinky. So I'm laying on the table. I was like, okay, so I want it from here to here. And he's like, is this your first tattoo? I was like, yeah. He's like, this is your first tattoo and you're getting it this big. I was like, yep. He's like, wow. He's like, you really go hard, huh? I was like, yep. I want it. I want the whole thing on my side. And he's like, oh my God. Okay. Well, I've never seen that before. So that was fun and very painful. I'm not going to lie. It was very uncomfortable, but it was so worth it because I love it. It definitely needs finished. I plan on getting the flowers colored eventually. The butterfly's probably going to stay how it is, but I'm probably going to add more shading around it and more details to the flowers. But other than that, yeah, that was my very first tattoo. My second tattoo is the 2 revolvers on my lower back. That is actually my favorite gun. It's small and pretty powerful, so kind of like me. And the flowers are just my girly touch. I wanted flowers around them to be like badass and girly at the same time.
I like that combination. No, that really, no, and that really works. And again, we were talking about encompassing your being, like you were talking about butterflies. I'm going to say this right now: when 2001 hit and Crazy Town came out with "Yo My Butterfly Sugar Baby," you probably went nuts. You know what I'm saying? I love butterflies. Oh my God. First and foremost, I can't even with that because I got to say, one hit wonder, but a great song. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I mean, we got Swifty, we got the dude in the Dare t shirt just rapping and coming dancing me out on the side. And I still can't believe that. I'm smiling just talking about that. I'm loving your giggling with this because, again, freaking 20 years old. That song's already 20 years old, and I can't even believe it, you know?
I know. Like I'll go like I'll scroll like on Instagram or Facebook and they'll have like little videos like, can you believe these songs are
Yep.
10 years old today or 20? I'm like, oh my fucking god! Like just stop reminding me how old I am.
Exactly. And it's one of those things too where I just saw because me, again, I think you as you could tell, pop culture nerd. I mean, I'm making Hey Arnold references for God's sake. It's what we do. But no, I mean, like I was looking at through some stuff and I'm like, I cannot believe this. So Justin Timberlake, we all know for his career in sync and for his, acting career, for his solo career. Like I was looking like No Strings Attached just turned like 21 years old. And I'm like, what in the actual fuck? Because it's almost like yesterday when you're listening to Bye 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 and It's Gonna Be May and all those
Oh
songs, and
my
it's just like,
god, I know.
right? Yeah. Oh,
I still listen to NSYNC. I don't even care.
me too.
I I have all the NSYNC songs on my phone downloaded and Backstreet Boys. I
Oh,
will jam the fuck out of all of them in the car and I don't even care.
you are a girl from my heart, Miss Angelina. No, I mean, like, and here's the thing too. And guys would get made fun of for liking the boy bands and stuff, but I look at it from a stance too, like fucking good music. Backstreet Boys still kill it, even though Brian Littrell, I mean, he's got his stuff with his vocals, but the man still kills it. I mean, in sync.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
I popped for the reunion in 2013. You got One Direction in there, just looking like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? The reason why I say
Ugh.
that is because I'm like, look at that's the generation that we have now, but what we had was them doing their thing, and what we saw in their reunion back in 2013 for Justin Timberlake's little VMA thing, which was awesome. And 98 Degrees is another one that still does their thing in tour. Like that was the 3 big ones of the late 90s.
I totally forgot about 98 Degrees.
Well,
I only had one other CD. I didn't really like. I know Nick Lachey was like the hottest person in the world back then, but I did not care for 98 Degrees. I was more into NSYNC. They'll always probably have my heart.
You know what it is too, and I like how you actually worded that because it's like when you look at that time period, it's like okay, here's Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and it's like oh, here's 98 Degrees all the way over here just doing their thing. We don't want that beef with the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC fans because that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like that TRL moment when that girl got pissed that she lost the trivia to the NSYNC fan, and she was ready to kill that girl. That poor girl, man, that poor NSYNC fan. She won a contest, she won whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just for winning the trivia, and this girl's got this stone look on her face. How dare you get that question right? Tell me why you got that question right. Hey, my goodness. But no.
It's like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera when
Yep,
she became popular.
yep, yep,
But
right
Britney
there.
Spears will always have my heart. I mean, I like Christina Aguilera, but Britney Spears will definitely be the number one pop singer.
Okay. I'm not ashamed to admit this. When I was like 7 years old, like 99, like this was like big when Baby One More Time was still big. You Drive Me Crazy. Sometimes she's performing sometimes
Mm-hmm.
on the famous Jet Jackson on the Disney. For those that remember the famous Jet Jackson, I don't take
Yeah.
everybody back with this. But when I was 9, I actually wrote a fan letter to Britney Spears and I sent it to her. And I had to do it at 99, man, just because like I was such enamored with Britney Spears because again, who wasn't? Like she was all over the place. I remember when she was on Keenan and Kel and All Here It Goes to Hollywood and Kel put the green little spot in her hair. You remember that?
Yeah,
Nope.
she was also like a huge ass crush. I was so jealous of how pretty she was. I was like, I want to be her so bad. And I had all of her Barbie dolls and all of her outfits. Like, I needed them. I wanted to have her whole wardrobe, her hair, all the glitter, the string, like the strings that she'd have like in her pigtails. I loved those so much.
That's the thing too, and I think that's what's great about it from the marketability standpoint. Like we have a lot of great things in pop culture that really transcend to what we see in combative nature, just from everything from the look, the overall appeal. And I think what I love about it too is like when it comes to the music industry, right? Music industry and wrestling industry are very similar, you know, with the travel and the overall art forms that what it is. Same with catfighting, it's an art form. But with every endeavor that we go into, again, it's the heart and soul that goes into it. But I also love the fact, like we were talking about in sync, there's so many things to market off her. Like when I was a kid, I didn't even know this existed because my friend told me this. So she's a big fan of NSYNC like you are, right? Did you know that these mofos had a video game in like 2000 and I had no idea about it? Did you know about this?
Yes.
You had the NSYNC account. You did, where they're dressing them up in the wardrobe. You knew about this. You
Yep.
know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Uh, all right, I'm guessing you had it too. My God, like I didn't even know they had a video game. Oh,
It
I'm
wasn't
just
very popular for very long. I think it had like its big moment for maybe like a month or two.
I was about to say, were you dressing those boys up for concert? Is that what this is? Huh? Huh?
Well, on the video game I was, but in my head, no.
Oh, okay. Well, I was actually, you know what it is too, and I don't know if I still have this. So one of my favorite VHSs, and it's a very good concert. I don't know if it's on YouTube. I know NSYNC has the Pop Odyssey one in full, the one that they did for Madison Square Garden. So back in '98, the Backstreet Boys had a big concert from Orlando, Florida. And it was put on VHS. Like they were performing the hits. Like again, this is when the debut album was out. We had "We Got It Going On." We got "Quit Playing Games with My Heart." We got "As Long as You Love Me." Everybody, Backstreet's Back. All I Have to Give. The whole nine. One of the best damn concerts I've seen on VHS. It was good. It was very vibrant. It's from Orlando, and everybody just went ah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was at my neighbor's house in her living room watching it.
All right, all
Yep,
right. I mean,
wearing Backstreet Boys t-shirts.
hey, I'll be honest with you. I still have my Millennium T-shirt. I never gave up. And like I said, it's one of those things where very popular also as well. And here's where a lot of things that's funny about like our age group and like where we grew up in the 90s. Like there are still a lot of people, and it's so amazing just to see the overall support of it. Again, like I was a fan of the Disney and concerts. I love the Backstreet Boys one when they're performing The Perfect Fan and they got the orchestra in the background and the choir. It's wonderful. But I gotta say, isn't it amazing just to see? Because with Disney Channel and like with Nickelodeon, every channels that we've had growing up to where they are now can't compare to what we had back in the day. And Disney and concert, there's still a lot of people that have petitioned to want to get that back because there were so many great Disney and concerts.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on Disney Channel and Nickelodeon when I was like 16. I couldn't deal with it anymore.
You know what it is too? You know what it killed me for me? The High School Musicals. And again, this is around the same time. See?
Yes, they were so fucking stupid, and I don't understand the hype. I watched the first one, and like I just watched the first one just to watch it, and then when they made a second one, I think I got like 20 minutes in. I was like, yeah, this is so fucking gay. Like, I can't do musicals. Like, I just feel like I'm, yeah, I'm like, where's the vanilla yogurt? Like, I get this get this shit away from me. I can't do it.
Okay. I was that kid too, because once we started getting into High School Musical and Hannah Montana, like the mid 2000s, like 05, 06, like you said, I was like 13 or 14 at the time, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't do it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because I couldn't do it. And the only thing with Hannah Montana that made me laugh is because I was a Billy Ray Cyrus guy. I loved Achy Breaky Heart. It was funny. And it was
That
just,
is, yeah, that's the only reason I watched Hannah Montana was because of Billy Ray Cyrus. I had a crush on him. So I gave Hannah Montana a chance. It was still stupid, but, you know, Billy Ray Cyrus, of course. But yeah, after, like, when Hannah Montana came out, and I loved The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. That show was actually kind of funny sometimes. But everything else they came out with, I was like, yeah, I'm done. I want to be little again when it was fun with, you know, Even Stevens and That's So Raven and like the good shit. I was like, what they have now, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
yeah, so you're there with me. Like, just watch Disney Plus for all the Even Stevens shows. Watch Even Stevens, the influenza episode. He always finds a way. Ren got an F. Ren got an F. You know where I'm going with this. You know.
Oh yeah, I definitely watch Disney Plus more than I should, but I also, you know, being a little princess and little girl, I still, you know, love all the princess movies. So I actually binge watched all of them the other day.
You're living up to the name there, princess. You're living up to the
Oh
name.
yeah. But the
No.
weird thing is, like, I was never like I loved watching, you know, the Disney princess movies, but I was never like the little girl wanted like the Prince Charming. I was like, I didn't care about that. I just loved the movies. I was the kind of princess that was like, I'm just a princess. Just treat me like one. Like, I don't care about having a guy. Like, I don't need all that. And I've, yeah, I've actually been like that my entire life. I've never really cared for dating or having anybody. And the third boyfriend I dated, I fucking married and was with him for, you know, the last 7 years. And I'm like, I'm good on all that. But yeah, everyone was like, oh, you love Disney Prince. You know, did you ever find your Prince Charming? I'm like, no. Nope. I'm not into that.
Again, I gotta say, you are a girl from my heart, because there's a lot of similarities that really I could go with you on this, because it's one of those things where it's like, you know what I'm saying, as someone else who has gone through some relationship issues, it's just like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like good. You know what I'm saying? We're just being single, being good, living life, and focusing on you. And that's one of the things too when it comes to relationships in general. And I don't mean to say like it's not all it's cracked up to be, because there are some people in life that, you know, they find someone. But I'm also the type of believer, and I think you can agree with me on this. Patience is a virtue. You know what I'm saying? Just let it come to you. You know what I'm saying? Don't rush. Don't rush, if you will. I know it's very cliche, but you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, and I've never ever been. I don't chase anybody. Like when someone's done with me, I'm like, all right, well, you know, there's no beef. You know, you do your thing, you go on with your life, but that's it. Like you don't want to be with me or you don't want to talk to me anymore, then that's fine. I don't ever fucking chase because I'm like that. I could throw up. I don't ever chase anybody.
You were like JoJo. Leave, get out. It's the end of you and me. That's what it is. You're taking back to '05. You're like JoJo before she started doing RV. Yeah, that's what you are. See ya.
I'm not. I just don't have time for it. You know, like I'll be sad. I've had my heartbreaks and I was sad for, you know, when things did end with certain people. But at the same time, like I don't have time to worry about chasing somebody. You know, I've got my own life. I've got, you know, my kids now. Like I don't fucking care. That sounds really bad and like probably really stuck up. But if someone really wants to be in your life, they will fucking be in your life.
First and foremost, God bless on the kids front. Kids are a blessing. So I mean, that's the most important thing you got right now. You got your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they're a job in itself. So, like I said, I really do not have time to worry if someone wants to be with me or not or chase somebody. Like, I've got, you know, shit to do. I've got school, PTA meeting. Like, I've got freaking dino nuggets to cook. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
All right. Now I'm gonna ask. Now, again, we're talking about kids that are blessed. And how old are the youngins?
My oldest will actually be 7 next month, and then my youngest just turned 4 in January.
Okay, first and foremost, yes on the handful front, but again, it's a blessing, because I'm gonna say this right now. When I was 7 and 4, God bless my mother, because I was a handful. I'm going to say this. I'm an only child, people, but I got to say, I think you can tell, very respectful, very polite, but I'm going to say this right now. In my younger years, oh, I was friggin' bouncing off the walls. You know what I'm saying? When you're like 7, you're just bouncing off the walls and just going all buck, buck, buck wild. You know what I'm saying? So it's a precious age, but yes, I can understand where you're coming from with the handful part. Because again, being a son to a mother as well. When my mom had her single mom moments, but oh, I get it. I totally understand where you're coming from. It's a handful, but it's a blessing at the same time.
Yeah, I've literally been a single mom for the past 5 years. Like, I know I've been married, but he was hardly ever around. So I've been raising our 2 kids. It's just been me. And it's definitely been fucking hard. I'm not even gonna lie about that. But I also love it because I can say that I've done it all and no one can ever take that away from me. Like, you cannot take any of the credit at all because I've done it and I'm doing great. And, I have 2 boys. So they're fucking so damn hyper and off the wall, like you said, but they're sweet, they're lovable, they're smart, they have everything they need, they're taken care of, they're safe. So I really can't complain. I mean, I do have my moments where I do complain, obviously, because being a single mom is fucking hard. But at the same time, like, no one can take anything that I've done away from me because I've done it all. So it's like a huge, like, proud, like, I'm still fucking doing it actually. So, like, yeah, I'm really not one to fuck with anymore because I'm a huge, like, my mama bear has increased like 1,000 times. Like, I was always protective.
Mm-hmm.
Here was amazing how you are, like, when you become a parent, how everything just changes. Your whole mindset, your mama bear instincts, like everything. It's actually kind of scary sometimes.
But I gotta say, when you're talking about the instincts and just your mama bear increasing, it's one of those things where it's just like I admire that because again, it just shows you're a damn good mother and that you care and you love your children, and that's a beautiful. I think a lot of people can resonate with that. Anybody that's going through the single momhood and just everything relationship wise, a lot of people can attest to that. So it's very admirable and it's very the dedication that you put into your children.
It's very exhausting, but they're amazing. Like, they're the sweetest little boys literally on the planet. And my oldest is actually he's autistic, so
Oh,
his development is around a 1 year old. Um, so him and Tate, my youngest son Tate, they're about the same, development wise, like mental wise. I think Tate kind of realizes that Liam. I don't want to say different, but I think he knows that Liam is autistic because he is so very, very protective of him. And anything Liam does, if he gets up too fast off the couch or if he spills something, he's always like, oh, "It's okay, Liam. It's okay. I got it. I got you. It's okay. Go sit down. I got you." Like, how can you like just not love that at all? Like, it's the sweetest thing ever.
it is, and I also look at it from a stance too. Like again, that just shows the love that they have for each other and just the overall family, and that's what I love about it. I think a lot of people don't realize just family in general. You can't beat family, you can't beat that bond, and it shows on what you're showcasing and what just everybody showcases in this thing that we call life. Be kind and love your family, and this is what I love about the family side of things. Now I got to ask you one other thing before switching gears once more, Angelina. I got to say this right now. Besides the social media front with Kim Chi, I got to say this: hit the mat boxing. Darius, the man, love the dude. He could trash talk as well. I saw some of those exchanges, man. You ready to pounce?
He's been working out, so I just hope he continues to work out, and I hope he's ready.
I got to put that out there because Darius has an amazing organization with Hit the Mat Boxing. You know what I'm saying? We've seen a lot of great talents go through Hit the Mat Boxing. So I just got to say this to you. I look forward to seeing when you go at that boy and just punch him in the face, punch him and get in the back. It is what it is. I'll be honest with you. I love Darius to death, but he brings it on himself. He brings it on himself.
Yeah, I'm hoping by this summer things will be a little bit easier. Since my kids will be out of school, I'll have more time to plan, traveling and stuff. So we've actually messaged back and forth a few times. So I'm really hoping by this summer I'll be able to go out there and beat his ass. So
again, for people who've not checked out Hit the Mat Boxing with Darius, Darius does an amazing job working with a lot of the great women that he does, and you will be no exception when that happens. So I can't wait to see how that unfolds. Again, it's the spunkiness. It's the spunkiness. And dare I say, we talked about Spitfire. You're a little spicy too. There's the three S's right there: spunky, Spitfire, and spicy. There you go. Put that all in one.
Yeah,
Oh,
he thinks just because I'm short, I won't be able to. And I told him, I was like, well, you do know that they make step stools, right?
nice. I was about to say, what's he going to put the sign out there in front of you? You must be this tall too.
Well, if I don't make the height requirement, I can always sneak in. I mean, he's not going to see me, so.
That's what I'm saying, man. Sometimes you got to. I'm about to say, you're just going to go and hit the mat and pull a 5-finger discount, just steal some gloves. That's what I'm saying. You little sneak. Huh? Huh?
Just stay tuned.
Oh my God. No, when it comes to Jesus, when it comes to being stay tuned, a lot of people need to stay tuned because next week, like we mentioned, going back to the fight with Kimchi, I'm going to say this right now. Two women like yourself going to have great chemistry, going to have a lot of fun. And I got to say this as well. Like you were talking about fetish modeling, man, when it comes to fetish modeling, I got to say this as well. Man, we all have our different, we all have our preferences. We all have our differences in what we like. And that's what I love about it because everybody's different. And with the fetish side of things, man, there's a lot of people that are very unique in their preferences. You know what I'm saying? It's very cool. It's a very aspect and a great overall endeavor when it comes to fetish modeling.
Yeah, I've got, I think about 8 customs so far. I'll have to go back and check. I don't remember, but I do know, like, I'm pretty much, like, full the entire day that I'm going to be there. So I'm going to land around 3, and I will be working literally until, like, the next morning. So, um, I'm, like, I'm still shocked about all of this because I don't know if you saw my post a couple weeks ago. Like, I literally just made my Twitter for the hell of it. And now I'm, like, meeting all these people, and I'm like, what? How the hell did this even happen? And like I was telling my mom today too, I was like, I don't even know how this happened. I was like, I can't even tell you. I was like, I just talked to these people, and I got, you know, had great conversations, and they wanted to work with me. And I'm like, they wanted to work with me, like clumsy little old me. And I'm like, what? How is this even possible? So she is excited for me. She thinks I'm going to do great, which it's always nice to have, your mom as a big supporter. And like I said, the only thing I'm really nervous about is just fucking flying. But other than that, I'm so excited because, like you said, it's all different. I have different customs. They're all different, like scripts or whatever that people
Yeah.
want. And I'm like when I have to do my scripted fighting, I'm having a scripted bare knuckle fight for Joe Gerald. It's gonna be hard to fake because I've only done actual real cat fighting. So when I have to fake this, it's gonna be kind of hard to get used to that and do like test it out because I'm like I'm so scared I'm actually gonna punch this girl in the face on accident because I'm so used to attacking. So I was like, that's gonna be kind of hard to switch gears into that.
I think when we were talking like fetish and customs right there, and like we could talk about fetish modeling, all the differences, but customs are also very cool, like you were talking about with the script. And I'm going to say they're probably going to have to put that in the script in parentheses for you. Don't kill them because, again, you. So so, so when it comes to that, like, yeah, the customs are very different. It's very cool. And I also love it too with the fact because again, it just shows great action. It's overall great content for the people to enjoy. It's all about that content creation, which is very cool and just very awesome. And it's very fun. That's the main thing at the end of the day. If you're not
Oh
having
yeah.
while you're but yeah, put in the parentheses, don't kill them, Angelina.
That's like with my boxing match. I was getting so fucking pissed because for one, I couldn't see shit. And we had to have headgear because me and the other girl have never boxed before. So, safety precautions, obviously. But I was so fucking pissed because I was like, I want to punch this bitch and I can't fucking see her. So I was getting pissed about that. And then I was just getting pissed in general because I had gloves on. I was like, okay, I'm in boxing mode, Angelina. Like, I have to box. I can't attack her. And then I think we did 4 or 5 rounds. And I told Garrett, I was like, fuck it. I was like, I need to kick her. Like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, boxing, I loved it, and I want to do it again. But like when my form and my hits are, I practice and I can actually get into the boxing, mode and mindset. I was like, but right now I need to kick her ass. I was like, I need to rip her fucking hair out because I kept trying to punch her, and I would go like with my other hand to like grab her hair. I was like, fuck, I can't grab her hair. I can only punch her. So I threw my gloves off. I was like, all right, fuck the gloves, man. Like let's just fucking go. And we went at it.
I was about to say, easy there, little Layla Ali. Just ready to scrap over there. But,
I was so frustrated. I was like, I know I'm here to box, but I don't want to fucking box right now because I can't pull her hair. I was like, I'm not here to pull her hair, Angelina. I'm here to box, but I can't pull her hair, and it's pissing me off.
I'm just imagining you from the visual side of things here. I'm imagining like a little scrunched up face and it just overall fury, hellfire and brimstone. That's what it is. It's what it is.
Yeah. I just couldn't do it. I was like, I'll do boxing another time, but right now, I just can't. And Gary was like, that's fine. You just do your own thing. I was like, well, I know we were here to box, and we tried it. And, like I said, I do want to try boxing again, but I do definitely need my form. That was my very first time. I definitely need to work on my form, my hits, my stance, my defense, before I actually do another match again. But I'm like, I need to rip her fucking hair out. I'm gonna go crazy.
Okay, first of all, you're not crazy. You're just passionate. I'm not going to say crazy because you don't want to call a woman crazy, like I said, and especially you with your scrunched up face, looking like Ronda Rousey on WTV. Freaking little Layla Ali and little Ronda Rousey over here. Okay, you know what I'm saying? From the facial standpoint. But no, I also look at it from a stance too, and we're going to talk about women here very quickly because when it comes to women of all combative natures and all sports in general, it's just amazing just to see the evolution and revolution of so many great women being showcased for their talents, and you being one of them. And here's where I'm going to encompass you because I'm going to say this right now: we all have that ability to inspire, to encourage a lot of people. I'm going to say this right now, like you were talking about starting up your Twitter. Here's this following. Here's a support system that you got. Also showcases with you because I'm going to say this right now. You got a cute little voice. It's like a mouse voice, but it's very, very cute. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, with your overall cadence, it's very cool. And a lot of people gravitate towards you. So, it helps. You know what I'm saying? You're going to keep inspiring and encouraging people. It's a beautiful thing, Angelina.
I hope to. And obviously I still hope to get my name out there and meet other people, which is really funny that I'm saying that because I've got huge social anxiety. So with me having social anxiety, I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to meet you. And on the inside, like my armpits are sweating and I'm stuttering and I'm fiddling with my fingers. I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to meet Kimchi next week and Laura and Macy and Madison, and I'm like, I feel like a freak of nature. I was like, I love meeting new people, but I hate it at the same time because of my social anxiety. I never know how to act. I don't know how to talk. I stutter a lot. I feel like I'm stuttering right now just talking about it because I'm getting nervous. So
Well,
it's kind of funny just to
I'm
say it
gonna
out loud.
I'm gonna put this image in your head. Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my hands. After he gets that win, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, it was great. It was great race. And then he's put his hands. I don't know what to do with my hands with the microphone. That's you. You don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do with your hands, huh?
Yeah, I'm just a little nervous, anxious little hobbit. I don't know.
Hey, no, that's cool. Just if you need to get a laugh, just picture Ricky Bobby not knowing what to do with his hands. That's all you need to do. You get a laugh out of it. You'll laugh. You might be a little stuttery, but you'll laugh. At least you got to get a laugh with it.
Yeah, I usually just look at the ceiling or the floor. I just like awkwardly laugh when I don't need to laugh. It's awesome.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to tell you straight up. And I mean, we're having fun. We're shooting the breeze. We're talking about everything. But I believe in you. I believe in you. I know you're going to do a lot of great things.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I got a couple final things we're going to talk about. I'm going to say this right now. The Overture is here. Anytime you want to come back on the show, Miss Angelina Knight, you're more than welcome to, my tiny little hobbited friend.
Absolutely.
All righty. Now, a couple final things I want to say before I have you promote the social media. Man, to reiterate the point from the start of this show, you have about coming up with the lovely kinky ninja that is, kinky chinky ninja that is the kimchi fetish, Miss Kimchi. Now, do you have any final words before we get to said bout next week for Miss Kimchi?
Um, I hope she's ready for me. That's all.
Okay, fair enough. Short, sweet, sweet to the point.
Just hope she's ready because I'm ready.
You know what? That's actually could be kind of a mind fuck right there because you know what I'm saying. You're kind of like lowering it down. I hope she's ready for me. That's what I'm saying. That is the verbiage of a hustler right there. Don't take that away. That is the verbiage of a hustler. I'm going to put you on the spot here. When Drake and Josh were playing pool and for hustling for their money, and then they finally get their mom's necklace back at the end when they're hustling and they're bustling. Picture that. You were friggin' Josh Peck and Pool Shark, man. You're just hustling for the money. And you're Drake counting up all the money. That is the friggin' verbiage of a hustler. I hope she's ready for me. I see what you're doing. You little hustler. You little hustler.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right, little hustler. Before we close this out, Miss Angelina Knight, please promote Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, where everybody can find you on all sorts of social media. I know that Twitter is relatively new, and we get to see a lot of beautiful images and a lot of upcoming events from you, Miss Angelina Knight. So please promote the social medias, the upcoming events with Kimchi, and what you got going on, man, because you're a hot commodity, you little son of a gun. So please promote the social medias. This is where I step back. The floor is yours, Miss Angelina.
Right now, Twitter is my main source of social media. I do have an Instagram. I'm on it like every now and then. Like I'll post my fighting pictures or modeling pictures or just like random selfies that I take. It's called Beth's Boudoir. I can't ever say that fucking word. I'll have to post a screenshot of it, but I can post a picture of it. And Beth is my middle name, just to air the confusion. Because who the fuck is Beth? But yeah, it's Beth's _boudoir. I think that's how you say that name. I can't ever say that fucking word. But yeah, it's just plain and simple. And then just my Twitter right now, it's just Angelina Knight.
Links to the description for the Instagram and the word that she cannot say in the Twitter. That's what I'm saying. You can't say it, but people will be able to follow you. It's a plus.
Yeah, I can't ever say that fucking word, but it's literally Beth _ that word.
That word. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that word will be in the description on my SoundCloud here, and we'll get this up on YouTube so everybody can check out the lovely Miss Angelina Knight. Man, I got to say this right now. If you're not following this young lady right here, I got to say, you're a great follow. Beautiful images, great fights coming up. You are going to be shining like a star, shining star. You know who you are, shining bright to see what you could truly be. Yes, I just quoted Earth, Wind, and Fire, but it's very relative to what we're talking about here. So, Miss Angelina Knight, I'm going to say this one last thing. Beauty, strength, and dominance are 3 key elements that make women the work of art that they are, and I include you in those sentiments. Keep shining and keep staying on your grind because it's going to amount to a lot of great things. I really, really wish you nothing but the best.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much.
You're very welcome. For Miss Angelina Knight, the hustler, the tiny little hobbit, y'all already know. My name is Mike Larkin. Thank you for listening to another edition of On the Mic with Mike, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Angelina Knight, one more time. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.